friend. Have you read all the books, blogs, podcasts, Instagram posts, etc.? You think you know how to be a good mom, but you feel like you're hopelessly flawed and can't do all those things? Do you feel like you're drowning in motherhood and at best you can tread water sometimes, but you're just not getting anywhere? You're still stuck in all the same ruts. Your kids are out of control, your house is a mess, and you can't find any motivation to change any of it? You just feel terrible all the time, stressed out, burned out, and over it? Well, I have great news for you. You have come to the right place. I've got you. I'm Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching, an advanced certified life coach, and I want to let you in on one little simple secret that can change everything for you. You want to know how to be a good mom? I'm going to tell you the secret. Are you still listening? The secret is you already are. Join me on this journey to believe you are a good mom. Here we go. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Believe You Are a Good Mom. This is Emily Wardrop, and it's just Emily Wardrop today, and it's just my voice. If you're watching these videos on Spotify, that's fun, huh? But not this one. So today we're going to talk about something that I've been thinking about since I was a guest on another podcast that aired on Monday. It's called the Confident Moms Podcast with Laura Dry. So check that out. She is so awesome and confident. Isn't that something that we all want to be more of as a mom? And she gives great all the things, tips, tricks, tools, all the things on her podcast also. So check her out, the Confident Moms Podcast. Anyway, when we were doing the interview, I didn't notice that she kept saying this. And then when I was listening to it back, I heard it a couple times. So she talked about doing a good job. So I always talk about being a good mom, right? You are a good mom no matter what you do. Yeah, you do some bad stuff and you are a good mom. You don't do some stuff that you think that you should do, and you are a good mom. And just her phrase, doing a good job, I'm like, let's talk about this a little bit. Okay. So, because another podcast I was on, another friend of mine, another amazing podcast to go check out called Perspective Detective. Isn't that fun? With Sabrina DeJong. She, is so fun, and I love all the different perspectives, and it's amazing. So she pointed out to me in my podcast interview with her that she didn't think moms had the awareness that they're even making it mean that they're a bad mom. So, mama, you do have this awareness. Maybe after listening to a few of these episodes with me, now you do have the awareness. But maybe one of the things that your brain is tricking you with is that it's not that it's making it mean that you're a bad mom, but you are not good enough in what you're doing. Like you're not doing a good enough job, was kind of where Laura's brain was at a couple times, and I didn't catch it. And so we didn't talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it now. So doing a good job, I think, is the phrase that she used. I didn't go back and listen again. I've just been noodling on that. So whether that's what she said or not, that's what we're talking about today, is doing a good job. Okay. So maybe you don't feel like you're doing a good enough job as a mom. Let's look into that. Doing a good enough job. What does that even mean? Because that is the first step that we have to question our brain. Our brain is going to give us these sentences, these thoughts, these words, and we're like just believing them. You don't have to believe every thought that crosses your mind. Did you know this? You can just think it and then think about thinking it and decide whether you want to continue to think it or not. And that becomes a belief. So you don't have to believe this. If your brain says you're not doing a good enough job because I always use the same old examples, but really, like yesterday, so it's easy for me to say, yeah, I send my kids off to school without brushing their hair because it's crazy and we don't wake up early enough to deal with that drama. And that's like, I don't have time to pick every fight. Like they have clothes on and they had some food. Like that's the bare minimum I could deal with here. Like I'm not brushing their hair. It's easy to say when I just send them off to school and then I'm at home and they're out of sight, out of mind. But yesterday I was at the school doing Halloween parties and it was right in front of my face, and extra annoying because it was Monday and we washed and brushed their hair Saturday night for Sunday. And by Monday, I could not believe the disaster that was my daughter's hair on a Monday. I'm like, yeah, by Friday maybe, but Monday. So it wasn't out of sight, out of mind. And anyway, so I do not do a good enough job of brushing their hair. That is a fact. Says my brain, right? It's not a fact. It's a thought. It's just a thought, and you can believe it or you cannot believe it. And everyone around you probably thinks it's a fact because all of them brush their kids' hair and their hair looks so cute. And that's like important to them. And clearly it's important to me too, which is why my brain keeps reminding me that I'm not doing a good enough job in this area, right? And I promise you, there's other areas if you're tired of hearing about me not brushing my kids' hair, but it's just a really good example right now. So, hold on, sound check real quick. I always have like this panic. Is it recording? Am I using my mic? Okay, we're good. All right. And some podcasters cut out these parts, but no, not me. We're not editing. We're just rolling. You're not doing a good enough job is a thought that your brain is telling you that may or may not be true. And it may or may not be useful to think it. It really doesn't matter whether it's true or not. It just matters whether it's helpful and useful to think it. So when I think I'm not doing a good enough job, I feel terrible. I feel guilty. I feel shame. I feel disenchanted. I feel I need my feeling wheel pillow here. Whatever the feeling is that I describe as I'm so over it, right? When I think that I'm not doing a good enough job, I feel terrible. And when I feel terrible, how do I show up? Terrible. And then what? I make it mean I'm a terrible mom. Do you see the pattern here, people? I just don't know how many times I have to say it. I have to remind my own brain 1,000 times a day. So I'll just keep saying it. When you think you're a terrible mom, you prove to yourself that you are a terrible mom. When you think, yeah, I'm not doing a good enough job, how do you feel? And then what actions do you take when you feel that? This is what we work on in coaching. These are the simple little questions that I'll ask you. If you don't know what coaching is, or if you're scared of it, it's just this. We just find a thought and we say, how does that thought feel? And do you like feeling like that? Because feelings are all just whatever. And there's a lot of thoughts that we want to keep. And there's a lot of feelings that we can just feel. It's not a problem, right? All the feelings are fine. And you want to feel terrible about certain things that you're thinking, but you don't have to about all of them. So do you want to feel terrible about the kind of mom you are? Continue to call yourself a terrible mom. But if you want to feel good and show up good and get more good results, then believe you are a good mom and that you are doing a good enough job. Okay. So I'm not doing a good enough job is just a sneaky way of saying that's basically one layer above I'm not a good mom, because we kind of peel down the layers of thoughts, and your brain tries to just, disguise them under layers. But we're on to you, brain. We know what's going on, and it's okay because that's the way brains were designed, and it's all good. It's all part of the plan. It's all good. I just remembered I have makeup and earrings on, so why am I not doing a video? Anyway. Okay. So you are doing a good enough job. Some people like that thought. You're a good enough mom. I can't even with that. Like, you are a good mom and you're doing a good enough job. Okay. Because what you're doing does not define who you are. You are a good mom and you do and don't do whatever, all sorts of stuff. You're a human. It's fine. Your kids are good kids. And I mean, because it's easier to believe that sometimes, right? I know they're good kids and they hit each other sometimes and they lose their minds and start screaming and pitching a fit. And they're still kids. We give them all sorts of grace for that because we know they're kids. What about us? We're just grown up kids that never learned how to manage our emotions or what to do with them. And so we still pitch fits sometimes, and it's all good. The grace we have for our kids, try on that grace for yourself, that it's all good. You're a good person. You are a good mom, and you're having a mortal experience, which is messy. So my coach friend, Hio North, I've got a podcast with her a few episodes back. Good times. I love that lady. She just coined this phrase for me this morning that I am just going to adopt. It's so good. I'm the messy mom coach, right? I'm a messy mom. You're a messy mom. I would love to coach you on all the mess. It doesn't mean that we're cleaning it up, because clearly I'm still a mess. So why do we even do the coaching? Not to become perfect, not to get quote unquote all cleaned up, but to accept the mess. The mess is part of the message, the whole message, the point of this earth life. There was never any point where anybody expected us to come down here and get it all right and do it all right. Okay. And do a quote unquote good enough job. Okay. Our job, like really, you can take out a piece of paper and a pen and dump out from your brain what you think a good enough job even is. What is your job as a mom? And how do you know if you're doing a good enough job at that job? So write it all down, then sign up for a free chat with me on Zoom, and we'll go over what you wrote down and question it and see if you want to continue to believe it. And if thinking that you have to do all that stuff qualifies you as a good mom, we'll see if that's serving you or not, which my guess is it's not, because that's why you would want to come talk to me about it. So let's do it. Can't wait to chat with you on Zoom. Free Zoom chat anytime. Sign up at dropthewarelifecoach.com/appointments. And let's talk about what you're making it mean that you're not doing a good enough job. What even is a good enough job? What even is your job? And how do we know if you're doing a good job? Let's chat, because that's all I've got to say on this one-ended conversation. I'd love to have a two-sided conversation with you. So I'll see you at dropthewarelifecoach.com/appointments. Thanks. More later. Bye.
Hey friend, thanks for listening. If you want to learn more about how you can believe that you are a good mom, head over to dropthewarelifecoach.com/believe, and you get access to my free pre-recorded masterclass that will teach you all about the hands-on, exactly how to believe that you are a good mom. Start believing right now. Feel the peace, my friend. We got this. You got this. See you there.